Welcome back to my channel. I'm excited for today's video because of a couple of things. A couple of reasons why. I'm filming a book haul. I've got a stack of books that I've recently purchased that I want to show off and talk about and like explain why I bought them. You know, I'm looking forward to reading these paperbacks and owning them, so I want to talk about them. But it's only a small stack. I came up with this idea a while ago. I had gone on a rant on Instagram and you guys were like, bitch, we could listen to you rant for hours and hours and hours. And I thought, well, maybe I can do my like discussion, ranty type videos on YouTube instead of Instagram stories, and you guys can ask me questions and I can answer them, right? In like a book haul video. I hope you enjoy. Recently, I've just come to the conclusion that I want to give you guys more of my time, okay? I know I am mainly focusing on writing right now, but I'm in a book slump. Like, I'm struggling to read right now, and when I'm struggling to read, I struggle to write. I wish I could just dedicate this entire time of not being able to read to writing, but somehow writing and reading for me, both of them have to happen at once. My brain is fucking warped. There's issues with it. We know this. We know this. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work like a normal person's brain works. I've never believed how I believe now that I have ADHD. Like, the way it just amplified by tenfold after having a baby, in-fucking-sane. Insane. Like, I thought I had it before I had a baby, and I was like, oh, this kind of makes sense, because I've always kind of thought something ain't right. But I never like related to anything that I'd read. Like, I looked up certain disorders and I was just like, no, that's not me, bitch. But when this was suggested to me by my psychologist, I was like, wow, this makes sense. But then I had a baby and I was like, well, this doesn't just make sense. This is it. This is law. I need medicine. I need medication. Who wants to fund my psychiatrist trip? Grab a snack. I don't know, maybe you want to watch this while you're doing your makeup, or like you're just lounging in bed and want to watch something kind of mindless before you, like, you know, toodaloo for the night. Here we are. Long form content. Everyone's all about the short form. I can't stand it, bitch. I can't stand filming it. I'm rambling today. I cannot do short form. It's like every time I try and make a reel or like a TikTok, I just stare at the camera and I'm like, it doesn't connect. It doesn't connect. So I've just given up on all social media platforms except for this one. And I'm just like, even with this, I'm not even reliable with this, okay? I'm not even reliable with this. I really want to give you guys my time, because there will come a time where I will release books and hopefully you will read them and like them. There's got to be someone out there that's going to like it. There's got to be someone. Like, I like writing it, so hopefully you like reading it. Well, I'm going to answer a lot of writing questions today, so let's fucking shut up. Well, not really. Let's just wrap this part up. 9-minute intro. I really like this color on me. It's a new hoodie. I'm hoodie obsessed. It's so bad. Like, we're going into spring and summer. I do not need any more hoodies, but I bought this yesterday. I have a shopping addiction, but that's because I like dopamine. Butcher and the Blackbird. I found this yesterday. I did. Everyone loves this. It's a dark romance rom-com. Like, make it make fucking sense. Like, what the hell? I'm so keen to read this. Everyone and their mother loves this book, so I will too. And I just know that it's going to be a book that I want to annotate. I nearly bought the second book in the series, but I've heard negative reviews on that. I kept that one on the shelf and thought, no, I'll read that on my Kindle first before I buy it, because if I don't like it, I won't want to own it. But yeah, Bush and the Blackbird, I finally have it in my hands and I'm ready to fucking devour this shit. Not right now because I'm reading fantasy, but I love the cover. She's cute. She's fucking demure. Yeah, she's cutesy. I don't know the trend. I'm like a young millennial that tries to be hip and can't quite get there. Oh, it's sad. What are 3 books you would keep if you could only read 3 forever? Are you fucking kidding me? What kind of question is that? Allie, what kind of question is that? The first book would be Twisted Emotions by Cora Riley. It's my most reread book on my shelf. This is my heart and soul. It will forever be my favorite. And it doesn't matter how many times I reread this, I fucking love it just as much as the first time I ever read it. I have reread Akatar twice this year. Twice. And it has become my heart and soul. I love this series so much and I don't know why it took me so long to fall in love with it. But I did, and I'm here for it. And this is my favorite book that I have ever read from Sarah J Maas, and especially out of A Court of Thorns and Roses, the series. I can reread this over and over again and love it. The angst in this, I want to be in the city of fucking Starlight. And if I'm only reading 3 books for the rest of my life, I want to be in the city of Starlight. So this is why it's in this top 3. This one might shock you too. Taming 7 by Chloe Walsh. Now the reason why I've chosen this one and not Saving or Keeping or any of those others is because you see so much of the couples from the previous books in the series in this book. And I know a lot of people dislike this book and they were very unhappy with how this was written. But I loved it. I loved Gibbsy and Claire, though I do agree that they are, in this book, a lot different than what they were portrayed in the earlier novels. But I love them. I loved the little snippets we got of Johnny and Shannon, Aoife and Joey, even fucking Lizzie. Like, I loved the way it's set up. Then this I could read over and over again forever, because my couples that I love are where they are at, and I get to see them living their life. And that is just beautiful. I'm so excited to have this next novel. I have been wanting it for so long, but I just haven't stumbled across it in store yet since it has been released. Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan holds my heart, and I just know I'm gonna love this series, but I purchased This Could Be Us. I'm so ready for this novel. I'm so ready. Kennedy is an author though that I don't read all the time. She's someone I go to when I want something that's really emotional, that's gonna give me all my romance needs, but it's gonna get me fucking thinking. She activates my critical thinking on another level. And I love that about her, that she writes romances that are kind of on the cusp of like women's fiction and romance. I know from reviews and stuff that this is mainly about a woman who is kind of falling in love with herself again, and she comes to the conclusion that she wants to be okay on her own and love herself first before she lets anyone else in. And I just love that, because I think as women, we need to do that. We don't do it enough. And I've been not single since I was 18 years old. I'm nearly 30. And I know that if hopefully not, but if I was to separate from my partner and be single, I would not be jumping into another relationship. I would sit in that and work through my shit before I would move on and let someone else in. And I just think it's something that we all need to learn and go through. I don't mean that everyone needs to go through a breakup, but I just mean, like, as women, we need to be okay with being on our own. There is too many of us that are reliant on a man financially, emotionally. Like, we're too codependent. We're in an era of fucking history where we shouldn't be codependent, because we've seen it time and time again. When there's a breakup, a death, we need to know how to stand on our own 2 feet. Anyway, so I cannot wait to read this, and I know Kennedy is just gonna fucking annihilate my heart and soul with Soledad's, is that how you pronounce it? Soledad? I hope so. Journey and relationship with herself and the love interest. Someone has asked me what are the tropes in my novel I'm currently writing. Now, I don't even know, because this is what's up. I have definitely not gone into this writing process pulling tropes out of a hat and saying I want to write based around these tropes. I have a story and have characters that I want to write about, and that's just what I'm doing. Once the first draft is done, I will get someone to help me to pull it apart and figure out what tropes there are. But I'm not writing based on tropes. I'm sure, like, I can already tell there's a bit of like touch her and you die type of fucking vibe. It is taboo, kind of forbidden. It depends on your moral compass. I do know that if this book works out and I continue to write tropes for the other books I plan on writing, if I ever get to that stage, I'm not a big fan of knowing tropes before I read a book. I'm just not, and that's kind of what you're gonna get from me. I'm not writing for anyone else but me. I'm not writing to write a book that's gonna be a bestseller. I'm writing it because I want to and I'm enjoying it, and it's for me. It's not for you. Like, I love it. It's been a journey. It has been a journey. I've learned so much about myself, my own writing style, how I want to write books, what I want to write. I definitely want to blur the lines, and I definitely want to write outside of the, you know, acceptable romance formula that most authors write. I know already that this book I'm writing is not going to be for everyone. People may dislike it based on what I'm writing about. And that's okay. That's all right. I know from the betas that I have, like there's one particular beta, you know who you are if you're watching this. I said to her, like, this is not going to be your type of book, but can you please, because you have so much experience and knowledge in the romance genre, just look at this for what it is and help me get it from A to B. And take away all the biases of the thing, your preferences and stuff like that. Take that away and just look at it for what it is. It's the bones of my story. I need your help. She already knows that it's not the type of story that she would pick up for herself, but she is also like, hey, this is super different. I haven't read anything like this before. So I'm excited about that. This is my thing. Like I'm a dark romance queen. I love romance, blah, blah, blah. We know this. But I always think when I'm reading a romance, why aren't there things in these novels that I want to read? So I'm going to write it. Do with that what you will. I'm not writing based on what's popular right now. I'm writing a story that has been with me for 5 fucking years. Now, if you are a member or were a member of Mary's Sick Twisted Bitches on Facebook, which is now paused, and I'm like deleting posts off it. Anyway, I dropped this story back in 2020. They had different character names and you saw like chapters and shit that I'd written. Same story, except I've stripped it completely fucking back, renamed them, reworked it completely, and it's the same story but different now. I need to write them. They will not leave me alone. Once I write the end on this first draft and decide if I'm going to give it to you guys, that will determine if I will write another book. Because this is the thing, and I'm going off topic and I'm sure a lot of you probably have asked this, so let's just get it off my chest now. Writing is not what you think it is. I'm not sitting down every day and just going in a dreamland. I'm a mum. I have a toddler. I work and I create content. I'm busy. Like, I'm a busy bee, baby. And writing takes so much energy from me. I also have a brain that is built like this. It's challenging beyond belief. It's more challenging than parenting. And you know me, I've always been cutthroat and honest about motherhood. I've never done something this hard in my life. And I'm so fucking proud of it. It doesn't come easy to me. I've learned so much. I know that like if I do write another book in the future, I will do it so fucking differently. Like my first draft will look like piss. This first draft has been rewritten like 400 fucking times. I'm on my 3rd document of a first draft. Like, because I have a problem with it looking and reading perfect straight away. And that's just insane. It's insane to try and get your first draft to look like a fucking book. Like, what am I... Anyway, so we'll see. We'll see what happens, baby. I do aim to get this finished by my 30th birthday. Whether it'll release next year, I don't know. But this is like a big thing for me. Like, I feel the potential. I want it really bad. I'm not going to get my hopes up. It might not be my career. What I'm planning on writing after this, when I finish it, if I still want to write, I'm fucking obsessed with. It's already started. I've already started it. I just hope you like them. And if you don't like them and you just like the cover or you just want to support me because you want to support me, I fucking love you. And also just be kind when you do see this. I know this story is going to ruffle feathers. I know it is. I know it is. I'm controversial. My books are going to be too. And they're going to be unconventional. So get used to it. Then we've got Powerful from Lauren Roberts. Now this is a novella between powerless and reckless. I haven't read them yet, but I just already know that I'm going to love them so much. And I saw this cover in QBD Books the other day. Now, if you're in Australia and you've come across this novella, it's a white cover. Yeah? But I found this one, so I brought it home. I wasn't sleeping on it, bitch. Really do want to read this series soon because I'm in my fantasy era. And I'm reading Throne of Glass right now. And hopefully that gets me out of my slump and I fall in love with that and I can jump to this afterwards. But yeah, I just needed to own it because I already own the other two and yeah. So that's why I bought it. This is a controversial question and I'm debating with myself if I should even answer it. I don't know if I even should, but I'm going to read it out to you anyway. It says here, we all know that books don't Wait, we all know that books doesn't represent any author's view, so why were people against Tilly Cole when one of her books had a racist MMC falling in love with a non-white FMC? It's just fiction, and the MMC is racist, not the author. I get that racism is a sensitive topic, but it's just a book. Why did people start to make assumptions that Tilly was racist based on that book? If we are going to make assumptions of any author based on a book, then mafia book authors, murderers, criminals are the authors, bullies and stalkers because of their stalker bully MMC. Also, a person of color author wrote a dark bully romance, I won't name it, about a racist MMC falling in love with a person of color. So if an author is a person of color, does it make it okay to write a racist MMC? The hypocrisy. I'm a person of color, but I can clearly see that white people are getting unfair treatment because of racism, especially in the book community. Oh. I am a girl's girl, and you know me. Like, you know me. Everyone's welcome here. Everyone's welcome here. And I just feel like something like this is not my expertise. I will say though that when that stuff with Tilly Cole popped off, I posted on Instagram stories saying like, what a shame, because I recommend that series all the time. I hadn't read that book though. And I love Tilly Cole, but I had said like, fuck man, like if you're gonna write something like that, you gotta have some fucking balls about you, and I don't particularly think that a white woman should write such things, and maybe a book like that should have come from a person of color. Now, I had responses from my followers, from some of you guys that are people of color, women of color, black women, American black women, that messaged me and said that you'd read the book and you loved it and you saw it more as a redemption arc, not necessarily romanticizing racism. And then I also heard from other people of color that they were really upset by it. Here's the thing though, and I'm gonna be really honest, and maybe this might get me canceled, I don't know. One of my favorite fucking movies of all time is about, I can't remember the name of it, but I watched it last year, and it's about a black woman in Germany during World War II. She's German born and she was black, and she ends up in a relationship with a German soldier whose father works under Hitler. And it is the most powerful, magical thing. It's so heartbreaking, bitch. Like, I was fucking black. It's one of my favorite stories. One of my favorite movies I've ever watched. It was just like, what the fuck? And it's a romantic movie. I am a firm believer in stories should be told no matter what. Someone might connect to it because it's their lived experience. If we start, granted, I'm not saying Tilly Cole wasn't in the wrong, but that series was out for a long time. That book had been out for a long time and no one had said anything. Gotta be careful, because if we start patrolling what people are writing, it kind of cuts into the whole free speech thing. And I think that's dangerous ground, point blank. That's all I'm going to say on that. What kind of world are we living in if we think every story that's going to be written is going to be perfect and is going to align with everyone's agenda and narrative and political views and everything like that? Now, I'm not a fucking racist. Don't try and twist my shit and think that I'm a racist, because I'm not. I'm not. But I'm someone that enjoys real, grimy, gritty, fucking raw emotional stories, especially in the romance genre, because love blooms in the darkest fucking places. Love is what keeps this world going round, and sometimes we can't understand love. Sometimes relationships happen that shouldn't fucking happen, things happen that shouldn't fucking happen, and love is the center of it. That is something that I enjoy reading and learning about, and, you know, broadening my horizons and seeking out content that explains that to me. Like, how can love between these two people form in this situation? Like, it just blows my mind. I guess that doesn't really answer your question. And, you know, the romance genre is in murky water right now. It is. It's very hard for authors to write anything. Hopefully we have some improvements in the future and people keep an open mind and don't instantly jump to conclusions about an author based on like a sentence in their book or something. You know what I mean? Like, I just, you know, tough topic, not really my place, but I said a lot. This book I'm so excited for, like so excited for, because it's from Krista and Becca Ritchie. So this is the first book in their new series. Now, I don't like Lily and Lo, we know this, but I do want to read Connor and Rose and the other two. I forgot their names. I will one day, I will. But this, when I saw the previews for this, I was like, oh baby boo, this is right up my alley. Totally and utterly. I've read the first page and I cannot wait to read this series. It's just, it speaks to me. Though I don't like Lily and Lo as characters, and I didn't like their story, what I read from them, I love their style of writing so much. Like, oh my god, if I could write like them, bitch, the books I would write. Like, I just love their style of writing, and I just know that this is going to be up my alley and I'm going to be obsessed, and I love the fucking cover. So damn straight I'm collecting. Damn straight, even though I haven't read it yet, damn straight I'm collecting. Would you ever come to a book signing in the US? I would love to. Like, I would love to. And I feel like if I'm ever going to travel to the US, that'll be the reason why. Not necessarily me being an author and people, like, not like that. No, me going and seeing all my favorite authors and being like, hey baby boo, because a lot of them I talk to, like, we communicate on social media, like some of them are my friends, like I consider my friends. So I'd love to meet them one day. I would love to go to a book signing. It's like on my bucket list, but like getting on a fucking plane, it's like 24 hours on the plane, bitch. And I've only been on a plane twice, and that was to Thailand in 2019, and I had to have prescription drugs to get me on that flight. Like, I was bellied up, baby. I was zonked. And my anxiety was so high that I double dropped and they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything. Like, they did not do anything to me. I thought the plane was going to fall out of the sky. I have a massive fear of not being on the ground. My feet not being on the ground. So, heights, planes, deep water sends me. It absolutely catapults me into another fucking realm, and it's just anxiety city, bitch. But I would love to go to a book signing. Every time there's like book bonanza or something, I die inside. I die inside, and it makes me sad that I'm down here. Like, I'm in, you know, Australia, because we do have things like that. Like, there was a signing not long ago. I should have gone to it, but it was in Melbourne and everything, the city near me. Anyway, but I just didn't go, and I don't know why. I'm a bit of like a creature of comfort homebody. Like, I struggle with a lot of social anxiety, believe it or not. Not on camera, but in real life, like walking out my door. And it's gotten worse since having a child. With me personally, not with him. That's the weirdest thing. Like, I can do things for him and go out with him, and that's fine. But like me going out and doing things. Anyway, I would love to. It's on my bucket list. I want to come to the States so bad. There's so many of you that I've become really good friends with. That I want to see and hang out. Or you can come here. Like, why not come here? No, but I would love to go to a book signing. Someone invite me, and someone pay for it, because those flights are fucking expensive. And can I crash at your place, babes? Because I wouldn't even know. If I stepped off the plane in the fucking US, I'd be like, who the fuck am I? Where am I? I'd freak out. I'd freak the fuck out. The next book, oh my god, I'm so excited to get around to reading this series because I own all the books, even the newest release, and I haven't read this series. I did try to read this series back in the day, back in early 2023. I purchased Play Along by Liz Tomforde. This is the newest release from her series. What even is the series called? I do not know, but everyone and their fucking dad is raving this book up. The whole series is so popular. Sports romance companion novel series. I'm ready for it. When I'm in the mood for contemporary sports romance, this is where I'm going. I love the covers. I've collected them all. So even if I don't like the series, which I think I will, at least the covers are fucking gorgeous. This one's beautiful. I love it. I love it. And I saw it and I thought, well, there's no debate needed. No conversations need to be had. You are coming home with me. This question is an interesting question that I want to like dissect, because when I got it, I was like, what? How does your partner feel about reading erotica type books? Mine isn't a fan. What the actual fuck? My partner does not give a fuck. He does not care whatsoever. Like, he makes jokes like, oh, you're reading your porn. Like, he makes jokes about it, but he does not care ever. He's the type of person that doesn't really care about much. So many men dislike women reading romance, and I don't understand why. It's giving you're insecure and you're worried that your partner is going to leave your bitch ass because you're doing the bare minimum, and she's learning that, hey, these fictional characters aren't doing the bare minimum, and there might be someone out there that will do more than the bare minimum. I don't understand why it's such an issue for us to read a fucking book, because that's what it's sounding like. Who cares the genre? Why is it such an issue for women to be reading romance and enjoying erotica or just like stories about love? Like, why? It's because these dudes are insecure. If they're gonna come at you and be like, I don't like you reading this shit, are they watching porn? Though I would never compare the two, because at least with romance books, there's a story, there's a plot, there's emotional turmoil, development, character development. It's completely different to porn. But like, if you're watching porn and you have an issue with your wife or your partner, your girlfriend, whoever, reading some fucking smut on the side, that's a you problem. It's fucking weird. I'm my own person. Like, I'm gonna do things that I want to do. I'm gonna enjoy the things that I enjoy, and you are allowed to do that as well. I don't know why there's such a big issue with the romance genre being read by women, and it's giving misogyny. It's giving, you've got issues with women fucking living their life. Like, why? You just want to control them. I don't know why that your partner has a fucking problem with it, but I would be questioning that like hard. It's weird. Sorry, I'm gonna be honest, it's fucking weird. If you were a horror film fanatic about, you know, murderers and stalkers, I'm not gonna forbid you from fucking watching it because I'm uncomfortable with the horror genre. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. Weird. No, my partner doesn't care. He hasn't even formed an opinion on it because he doesn't give that much of a fuck. Like, there's no opinion. Like, I'm just reading my book, he's doing his thing, it's fine. Like, what? What? The next book that I have is Business Casual by B.K. Borison. I haven't read this series, but I own them all, and this came out this week, and I just love the aesthetic and the vibe. I definitely want to read this series. Like, it's coming up to the time of the year for you guys, not for me. I'm going into spring and summer, but I want to read it. I want to read it so bad. I just have seen snippets, and I'm just like, ooh, especially with Business Casual, though I own them all. I just love the covers, and I want to read them. That's why I bought them, and I can't wait to put this with the rest of them. They look so pretty up on my shelf. You cannot see it, but it's that shelf over there where this lives. Will live. Next question is something really cute that I want to feature in this video. Someone asked me how I have my coffee. Now, it depends, okay? If we're talking the instant cheap shit you buy from the supermarket, milky with 3 sugars. If I'm going to a cafe, then I get a cappuccino with 2 sugars. And if I'm getting like a cold coffee, then we do an iced latte, sometimes vanilla iced latte with extra sugar syrup. I like cavities, obviously. And this is Blue Sisters. I have seen the most heartbreaking, wrenching reviews about this story. It's about 3 sisters just going through life, dealing with grief and a lot of different type of, like, you know, emotional kind of things. Apparently this is a book that's going to tug on your heartstrings. It is written in 3rd person, but I really liked the front page when I saw it in store. Like, I read the first page and I was like, you're coming home with me because you're already speaking to my soul. So we've got a random chick lit here, which is just, I also had from the same author, what's it called? The Frankenstein one, but I gifted it to my best friend who reads chick lit because I thought she would read it and enjoy it more than me. Do you see drama on BookTok, or do you just stay away from that toxic side of BookTok? I rarely pay attention to BookTok. Like, I don't really know the big popular creators over there. Like, there's a few like Larissa and stuff like that that I follow on YouTube and Instagram and stuff, but I just don't. Like, sometimes I'll stumble onto BookTok and I'll get a rec here and there, or maybe like I'll pick up a book because I've seen it on my feed on TikTok, but overall I stay away from TikTok drama in general. I definitely used to be someone, and I still am, I am someone that puts their nose in business where it doesn't belong, and I give my unsolicited opinion all the time. And when I was not a mother, I could deal with that energy a lot better. I kind of fed off that energy. I can be toxic. I can be a toxic person. I've spent a lot of years working on how not to be and how not to insert myself in drama, because I can kind of thrive off drama. Like, any publicity is good publicity kind of mentality. So when I became a mother, I definitely going through like all the mental struggles of becoming a mother and stuff like that. I needed to protect my peace for my child. So I turned a blind eye to a lot of things. I try not to deep dive and get caught up in a lot of drama online, especially surrounding BookTok. Sometimes I'll see things that get me riled up, but oftentimes, more than not, I steer away from the drama. I have a difficult relationship with BookTok. People will disagree with me, but I feel like though it has given a lot of success to authors and the industry, you know, even with bookstores, it's helped sales for indie bookstores and stuff like that. There is a wave of negativity from BookTok that I personally feel like outweighs the positives. And I'm not saying all BookTokers, because like there's people like Larissa and stuff like that that are great at what they do, and I personally love their content and follow them and watch them, and I'm like, oh, I love it. But the negativity is just next fucking level. It's just next level. The hypocrisy, baby, the contradictions, the conundrums. Like there's so many opinions on like why you shouldn't read certain things, cancellations of authors and stuff like that that I just like cannot get down with. I'm over it. I'm here for the romance books. I'm here to tell you guys what I think is up and what the fuck I think is down as a reviewer. And you know, I'm out here trying to write my own novel too, so that's my focus. So I don't really pay attention. I try not to, because I can get really riled up, and that type of energy my household doesn't need. Because I'm a fighter. I like to fight, bitch. I get, you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram and you've watched me for years, I'm a fucking firecracker, yeah? And I'll go to town on you if you piss me off. Like, I've always been like that. It's gotten better throughout the years. I have got more self-control, but I'm not afraid of like speaking my fucking mind and being controversial and saying what I think. So yeah, I've got to protect my peace for my child, because he doesn't deserve that energy, baby. He just wants his mummy. He doesn't want mummy stomping around the house because she's watched something on TikTok that's pissed her off. And then we have Into the Dark. This cover from Jessa Hastings. Now I am in the middle of Magnolia Parks, and I've got to say, we've got to talk about it for a minute. I have such a love-hate relationship with that fucking book. I still have not been able to finish it. I feel like I'm just not a Magnolia girl. Magnolia as a character shits me, like really bad. Like, she really grinds my gears. I feel like I'm gonna be a Daisy girl, and I am pushing through Magnolia to get to Daisy. I'm keen on Daisy, the snippets and stuff. I also have been given a lot of spoilers, so I know what happens in all these stories, but I own all of them. And even if I don't love Magnolia and BJ, these specific covers are beautiful. And Jess's story of how she became an author, everything she went through, I can just admire. So I got this cover because I own all the originals. This is stunning. I love the covers, the original covers. I don't believe you can get this in the States. I know that we still sell them. We sell them both in Australia. We have the original covers and like the shoe covers, which I also have. But yeah, there's Magnolia there. Gorgeous girl, okay, even though she annoys me. And I just really wanted to own this because I have them all, and I will get to it because, yeah, I just have a really weird relationship with that first book, Magnolia Parks. Like, I highlighted and annotated so much of that story because the writing, I'm just like, the metaphors, like, I love. But I can't read too much of that lyrical metaphor stuff. Like, it pulls me out of the story. And yeah, Jessa has a very specific writing style that you know, doesn't really mesh with me. I like flow, like simple, easy, like flowy writing, yeah, where she will write like something really flowy and metaphorical, and then she'll write, I think, after it, and it just like throws me out. So yeah, and BJ and Magnolia I have a love-hate relationship with because they're a fucking train wreck, but they're a train wreck in the wrong way. Like, there's things about them that I'm like, no, like, I'm not shipping them because I'm just like, you guys are so fucking toxic. Anyway, yeah, so I got Into the Dark. I I went into QBD Books and said, do you fucking have Into the Dark in this cover? And they were like, let's look. And they had a whole stack of them. They got me one. Thank you. There's a lot of questions to do with my book and how writing is going. So right now, I've already said that like I'm in a slump right now reading. And when I'm in a slump reading, I'm in a slump writing. Sometimes I'll sit down and I'll write like what I think is the best thing I've ever written from me in one sitting. And then like it'll take me 2 weeks to write one singular chapter. And then I fucking hate it. Because if it's taking me that long to write it, something ain't right. And that's kind of... it's chaos. My writing process is fucking chaos. Someone also asked me if I was a plotter or a pantser. I've tried to be a plotter and it does not work. I've plotted this book 3 different times and every time I try and fucking write it, it changes itself and I'm just going with it. I don't know. It's wild. I really just hope that I finish it and it's like everything that I envision. Okay, everything I envision. The aesthetic for the novel is fire. I just, yeah, am taking my time with it. Obviously, I don't have the time to set aside to just sit down and write. So I just write when I can. Also, I actually messaged one of my author friends the other day about this. I've figured something out about myself and writing, and you're probably going to think this is so weird, but this is my brain. I write better in my phone on the Notes app. I don't know, like when I'm laying down, sitting down and I'm just on my phone, I write the best shit I've ever come up with. But as soon as I like sit down at my desk with my laptop and I've got like all my things, my notebooks and it, I stare at it, like I stare at this blank page and I'm just like, I don't know what to write. It's weird. It's weird. And that's what I mean when I say that this has been like a learning journey for me. Like I've just learned so much about myself that like, yeah, my writing process is chaos. Because I'm chaos. So obviously trying to string all my ideas together and making it blend and making it work and making it make sense is like a whole different world for me. And I've never written a fucking book. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just trying to write this story out and hope for the fucking best. Hope for the fucking best. But yeah, I love my characters so far. So far. There will be smut. Someone asked me if there's going to be smut in the novel. Yes, there will be. There'll be a lot. It's very explicit. Very. But not with the love interest. They're angsty. They've got a push and pull going on. But there will be smut galore, baby boo. But probably not in the way that you expect there to be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. They're all the questions I'm going to answer today. I will do this again. So if your question wasn't answered, then ask again in the future when I do another video like this. Maybe I'll just do a Q&A video on its own next time. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. They're all the books that I recently purchased and they're the questions that you guys asked and I answered. If you enjoyed this video, thumbs it up. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see more videos like this. As I said, I'm trying to spend more time with you because I miss you and I want to dedicate some time to you guys. Yeah, so don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Okay? And I'll see you soon, baby boo. I need to do a recent romances I have read video. I also want to film like BookTok books, my opinions if I've read them or not. So those 2 are in the works. You'll see them soon as well. Alright? Thank you for watching. It means the world to me and I'll see you soon. Bye. What was this? I don't know.